Trenuj w sprzęcie dla najlepszych. Wejdź na groundgame.com.
I guess another main event for you, heading the bill. I guess what did the feel like for you? Is it still an exciting opportunity to be in the top spot?
Yes, of course. It's like redemption for me. My first one, I got a loss, but I'm really excited to be back. I think the biggest thing was like 6 months of training, injury-free. Like, I'm literally going to this fight the best I've been, so I'm really, really excited. I think I was asking for Mick, oh, Mick, I wanted a main event with the crowd, especially because in Florida, I had the crowd again, it was like big crowd, and I had 5 fights in the Apex, so I was like, so good to remember and have that feeling of why we do this, and the show we like to put on. He's like, oh no, we just have this one. That's okay. And now it's like private. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm so happy to be back at the Apex and I'm a little bit superstitious, so I really want to make sure I get a win on my main event at the Apex because that's how I lost last time. So I want to get that out of the way.
That was a great fight, obviously. I mean, you turned in a good performance. But was there anything that you take specifically out of that, whether it be the week leading into the fight, whether it be 5 rounds? I mean, was there anything that you take out of that you think will help you the second time around?
I mean, I don't know how Young's been training. I imagine she's training ready for 5 rounds. I didn't feel too much different. Definitely, once you do 5 rounds to go back to 3, you're like, oh man, that's a little bit not that much time. But yeah, I mean, I think I had 2 really good moments with Marina where the second round was almost the whole time on the ground, and I think the 4th round maybe, or the end of the 5th, or one of the later rounds, I ended up getting on the mount and finishing the round in a good position too. So I mean, when you start to think strategic-wise, going into this one again, 5 rounds, I definitely want to not let her get any rounds. I don't want her to steal, and you start doing the math, okay, 2 to 3, is it 4 and 1? What is it? So I definitely want to stay ahead on the rounds. And yeah, what I saw with Marina, what I felt with her is I had really good moments on the ground, and with all my credentials in jiu-jitsu, these girls shouldn't be getting out of there alive, I mean, not literally alive, but, with a win, If I get to the ground, I should be finishing, So I trained really hard for this camp to be and with Tisha too, I had the Kimura Toho leg lock, I should be finishing it that, not doing a whole bunch of things, and then in the end you didn't do anything, So I really trained hard to make sure that if I get to the ground, I'm going to finish this fight. So I'm confident. I think I'll be able to get to the ground and get the win.
Nice. I know you've worked hard to, improve, obviously, as a complete martial artist in the striking, but is there ever any point where you go why am I working on this striking when really my grappling is on such a high level? I should just do that.
No. All the time. I mean, I have my dad, my Rogério, my strength trainer coach, they both really like when I train ground, wrestling, the ground, they really believe that it's good. I need to stay on point with that. But never in my mind, I think oh, I feel so much better, everything for me is easier with my striking getting better, we were just saying my feints, my confused my opponent. I draw them in to engage with me a little bit more instead of me chasing all the time. My striking be on point. I got not frustrated as much that I'm chasing. I can cut off the cage way better now. And yeah, I mean, I think eventually even I'm not looking for the knockout, but I think just mixing everything together, I'll have knockouts too eventually. So, and yeah, base, my kicks are better, wrestling is better, everything's better with the striking. So no way I wanna go away from that, and I think that's all I need to be really dangerous for the division, because I don't see any of the girls too threatening on the ground for me,
Yeah. Obviously, you're facing, the elite people in the division right now, but what do you think about Jan as an opponent? Is there anything that she does specifically that's more concerning maybe than other opponents?
It's so funny because I always thought man, okay, I'm a ground girl, I'm a ground player, grappler, and I always go into the line of fire, and as a grappler, we shouldn't like to get hit, because that's completely different than what we do, we're the gentle art, we do arm bars and chokes, we don't get punched in the face. So most of the grapplers in a fight, they don't enjoy to get punched in the face, but I put myself in that line, I know I have a chance to get hit a lot to get to the ground. And I always thought man, I thought that the strikers, they'd be confident in their striking and want to like overwhelm the grappler. You know, like, okay, the grappler doesn't like to get hit. Let me land some good punches on them, and then they're gonna, they're gonna be away. And all the girls I fought, most of them, they hit and run, a lot of like point fighting, hit and out. It's very like good, strategic. And Yan, she's aggressive striker. She goes forward. So I'm kind of like getting what I asked for, a little bit, as in like, and I'm almost like, oh man, now it's gonna be hard because, no one wants to ask to get hit in the face, but that's kind of like what I'm asking for when I want a fighter like Yan, someone who's gonna go and try and hit me and overwhelm me. And I think that's one of her strengths, and that she has high volume, good technique, strong punches. She hits in the good, like, right spot. But at the same time, as a grappler, that's good, because it's a little bit easier to take them down, So good thing I'm durable. Good thing, I think I can, if I need to stay at 25 minutes standing up, I feel good to do that. And I think I'm at a really good moment of my career to fight someone like that that's going to try and put the pressure on me, because I finally am starting to settle in on my striking.
You mentioned the fact that it's a private event. Have they told you what to expect in terms of atmosphere? Because obviously, they just said no fans, no media. Do you know what's going to happen in there? Do you know what environment you're walking into, or do you have to wait till fight night to find that out?
I know Mark Zuckerberg rented out the whole event, so I know he'll be there. But I don't know if it's just like literally him and his wife, or if he's gonna have friends, if it's just like it'll be like a small party. I don't know, But from who wanted a main event with a crowd going to like very, very private, I'm definitely like, okay, we're gonna be back, like a sparring. It's a different type of adversity that you have to get through because you get distracted so easily, So any like commentating or anything, you can, if you're not focused, your mind can get, distracted, So I'm excited, and that just makes me more driven to put on a good show I know everyone's watching on TV, but for Mark and whoever's going to be there, put on a show. If that's what they want to see is a show, then we're going to give a show.
I love it. Last thing for me, obviously this is a big fight in the division, but are you thinking about exactly what it means? So we've already got a title fight lined up. You think Marina's probably next. So this like next, or this sets up another. Are you thinking about that, or is it more just like, let's just win and see how things shake out?
Yeah, it's because who I train with like Luke. I train with Luke Rockhold, I train with Chito Vera, and I'm lucky because I got both of their camps going into this camp. I was able to get off of like the energy and the training and the focus from their camps. And I see like Chito, who's fought, 3 former champions before. So I think that would be like if I have a dominant performance, that would be like a next good step for me. I don't think, I want to fight exactly for the belt. I'm not going to be the person to say like, no, I don't want a title fight. If they offer to it, maybe we'll take it. But for me, if I had a choice, I would like to do one more fight and against a former champion. So, I don't know, Rose Namajunas or Jessica Andrade, or maybe even the loser of Zhang Weili and Carlos Esparza, I think would be a good test for me. And if I beat a former champion, then go fight the real champion.
I think it's been 10 years in the UFC at this point. I'm just curious. Have you kind of marked that anniversary, and what does it feel like to be here this long?
Segundo ele, 10 anos. 10 anos, 11, né, no caso, né? 10 anos, ou seja, mais de uma década no UFC. Como é que tem sido essa tua jornada?
Eu fico muito feliz de fazer parte dessa família do UFC, né? Fico muito feliz mesmo. E eu acho que eu só tenho muito que agregar no UFC. E tô sempre aí, tô bem, sempre trabalhando, né? Fazendo meu trabalho que eu mais gosto. E tô feliz. Isso é o que importa.
Very happy to be part of this family of the UFC, doing what I love to do, and just at the end of the day, happy to have the opportunity. That's what matters, right? To be happy doing what you're doing. I think it's been 2012 those first 11 years, right?
Yeah, crazy. And I guess fighting better than ever, maybe at this point right now. I guess what's the key to having the success in this point of your career?
E lutando melhor do que nunca. Ou seja, qual que é a chave para você ter o desempenho que você está tendo agora nesse ponto da tua carreira?
eu sou um cara feliz no que eu faço, né? Isso que é a chave do sucesso do homem, do ser humano, é ele ser feliz no que ele faz, no que ele trabalha, no que ele faz para a comunidade dele, para os fãs. E eu adoro sair na mão.
Uh, I'm a happy do what I do. I think that's the key in life as a human being, for anybody, for a man, just to actually to be able to be happy doing what you do and do what makes you happy, and in a community that he lives in. And I just love to brawl, man. I just love to go at it. So happy.
I got somebody here in Randy Brown that'll probably want to brawl and go at it. What do you think of him as an opponent?
Bem, você tem um Randy Brown aí na tua frente, que é um cara que vai gostar de sair na mão e na porrada. O que você pensa dele?
Que bom, né? Que bom. Eu estou esperando essa hora aí. Essa hora vai chegar e vai ser bom para nós dois e para o público aí. Então, o que eu espero é uma boa luta mesmo, entendeu? É uma boa luta, eu estou pronto para ele. E eu sei que ele está pronto para mim, mas só vai sair um vencedor de lá de dentro. E esse vencedor vai ser eu.
Good. It's good. I think it's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for the public. I know he's. I mean, I'm. Just we're prepared. We're both going to be. It's going to be good for both, and it's going to be better for me because then I'm going to come out as a winner. Unfortunately, one winner comes out, and that winner is going to be me.
This win streak, you continue it here. I'm just curious kind of what your goal is at this point in your career. Do you think about rankings and title chases and all that, or is it more just about enjoying yourself and enjoying the journey?
Esse desempenho nas últimas lutas que tem sido cada vez melhor, você está com várias vitórias, qual que é o propósito disso? O que você pensa em termos do que você está fazendo agora? É para entrar no ranking? É em busca de um cinturão? Simplesmente você está se divertindo tanto, isso é tão legal para você, que você está feliz em simplesmente continuar essa jornada?
Não é para entrar no ranking, não é para disputar um cinturão. Eu gosto disso porque eu amo fazer isso, entendeu? E eu fico me olhando assim, cara, se eu não fizer isso, eu vou fazer o quê? Eu adoro fazer isso. Então, de primeiro eu tinha... eu quero dar uma casa para os meus irmãos, dar uma vida melhor para os meus irmãos. Mas agora é por mim, entendeu? Eu gosto de fazer, eu vi que eu gosto de fazer. Então, eu não vou deixar uma coisa que eu gosto de fazer por causa da minha idade, né? Então, estou aí. A idade, para mim, não... Eu tenho 34 anos só.
I don't look at rankings or anything like that. I really obviously love to do this, and I look at myself in the mirror and I say, man, what else are you gonna do? This is what I love to do. This is what I like to do. When I used to do this initially, I thought of giving a house for my brothers, giving them a better life, and I do it for myself now. I really do it for myself now. It's for me. Continue to put on a show, continue to do things, and just be happy doing it. Just I do it for me. I like to be there.
Like I said, you're fighting better than ever maybe in your career, so I'm not trying to rush you out, but have you thought of how long you want to keep doing this?
Você fala que você quer continuar isso na tua carreira, seguindo adiante e não parar. Você tem uma ideia, eu obviamente não estou querendo apressar você, mas você tem uma ideia de quanto que você poderia lutar na tua vida? Até quando?
Não tenho. Enquanto eu tiver a chama dentro de mim, né? Acordar todo dia de manhã, doidinho para treinar, com vontade de correr, com vontade de fazer wrestling, fazer jiu-jitsu, fazer boxe, fazer muay thai. Então, eu não penso em parar agora, não. Eu penso só de dar trabalho aos moleques novos que estão chegando aí.
I don't think about it. As long as the spark is there and that flame is still there, and I wake up in the morning just eager to train, to run, and to box, go do some wrestling, some jiu-jitsu, some Muay Thai, I'll continue to do it. And right now it's there. That's what I like to do. And I just want to, keep giving a lot of work to those young guns that are coming up. I try to come into the gym.
I love it. Last thing for me, I guess, so just, it's a big opportunity, co-main event. I mean, what kind of fight do you think we see on Saturday?
Da minha parte era isso mesmo, só mais uma pergunta. É o co-main event, tá ali, é uma luta importante. O que você espera esse sábado?
Toda luta para mim é importante, né? Toda luta para mim é muito importante. Eu, dou minha vida por qualquer luta, né? Até no treino. Mas é um gostinho diferente, né? A gente sabe, né? Mas eu não tô. Tem muita gente que fica nervoso por causa de, vou fazer a última luta, vou fazer Não, eu só levo como seja a primeira que eu vou fazer do card preliminar e a última luta. Para mim, eu só quero dar o meu melhor lá dentro. Eu não importo se é o card principal, se é a última luta. Eu só quero dar o meu melhor.
For me, it doesn't matter what fight it is. I mean, to me, every fight is important, and I like to just go all out. Just like sometimes I like to do that a lot in training as well. But to me, it doesn't matter if it's a co-main, if it's the last fight, if it's a main event, if it's a prelim. I just want to do my thing. I want to put on a show, just fight. So really, it doesn't matter to me that the fact that there's a stage and I have an important fight, and it could be the first one, it could be the last. I'm always going to be there.
I guess, is it all kind of feeling real at the moment, I guess? What's the emotion like for you?
I don't know. I think it's just like another day, but this is cool. This is very cool. I haven't experienced this kind of media before.
Talk to me about getting the call. I mean, with UFC calls, you don't say no, right? But when they call with like number 12 in the division, I mean, is that kind of a weird?
I said yes before I knew who it was. Just iron out the date was, I think, the issue with medicals and my weight. So I said yes before I even knew who I was fighting. I was like, oh, by the way, who am I fighting? So, yeah.
So once you found out, was that like, I guess, more of an honor or a little bit more, I don't want to say intimidating, but it's a huge opportunity. Getting here is a big opportunity, but fighting a ranked opponent, that's insane.
I don't care. I'm here, so time to make a statement.
I love it. Busy year for you already, right? I mean, was that kind of the idea coming into this year? Is this the time to make the run?
Yeah, for real. I think this is my 4th fight this year. This will be my 6th fight since November, so in 11 months is my 6th fight. So, yeah, trying to stay as active as possible, multiple weight classes. So let's do it.
I love it. All right, talk about Sadiq as an opponent. I mean, what do you think about him as a fighter?
I think he's a clean striker. I think he slows down, and I think I'm a grinder, and I'm going to make this ugly. So, yeah.
Is there time to put together an in-depth game plan, or is it more just like, well, we just got to go fight and see what happens?
No, throw me in the mix. You know, I like the craziness of just on the cuff, off the moment, and let's go. You know, like there's no real game plan right now. You know, you gave me 2 weeks to make weight and to fight a ranked opponent, so I'm just gonna go in there and do what I do, and I'm confident in myself, and I belong here.
Some people would look at it as like a no-lose situation, right? Like, I mean, if you come in and you're not victorious, like whatever. I mean, you were put in a hard situation. Can you let yourself look at it that way, or no?
You think I came here to lose? Like, I didn't put in 10 years worth of work to lose. Like, losing happens. One of us is gonna lose, but I didn't come all this way just to come this way. So, my stock doesn't go down regardless. Like, this is win-win for me. Fuck it. But I'm here to win. Don't get it twisted.
Last thing for me, I guess, what kind of fight do you think we see? I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have seen you fight before now. So what kind of fight do you think you guys match up for on Saturday?
Oh, I'm coming out the woodwork. You know, I'm coming out left field, so no one knows what to expect from me. Everyone's looking at my paper stats, which don't mean shit. And I'm coming out here, and I'm coming to grind and get my hand raised.
What's up, Don?
What's up?
Yeah, so for anybody who has not seen you fight, like, describe your fighting style for these guys.
I'm a grinder. I break people with pressure, and I make them quit.
Where were you when you got that call?
I was in my living room playing Fortnite. You had to bring that up. You knew the answer to that.
Yeah, man. And so just, you know, describe the emotion. Like, you've been grinding. You almost got the call earlier this year.
Yep.
Didn't work. You're here now. How you feel?
Well, I think there was talks of me getting on that June 4th card against Damon Jackson, which I accepted. I was ready to make weight. I actually fought the same night. So I was going to pull out of that other fight to fight in the UFC. They gave it to Dan, which, all right, cool, just not my time. And I was a little disappointed, but it was cool to go home and win the 145 title, but you know, obviously I would have liked to be here fighting in front of everyone, the whole world. So that was a little disappointing, but I just stayed true and kept grinding. So here I am.
Thank you.
You got it.
I know recently you've had a couple of setbacks, which is something that you're not normally used to. So I guess what's it been, this experience been like for you with the last 2 losses?
就是从上2场失败，之前也没有经历过，就是2连败。那么经历过这个之后，然后现在在迎接这场新的比赛，心态或者备战什么的有什么变化？
我觉得都没有影响，就是比赛输了就再继续努力，再想办法把下一场比赛赢回来。所以说心态上没有改变，还是一如以前一样，就是为了目标前进。
Nothing is changed. Yeah, if I lost, just win it back. Just keep working hard, and keep going forward, and get another win. Yeah, that's it. Nothing changed.
Kind of a heartbreaking one in March, like a very, very close fight. I'm just curious kind of what the emotion was after that one and what lessons you took out of it.
所以啊，那上一场比赛3月份那场特别接近，然后判罚呢，大家有不同的看法。那场比赛打完了之后，你有没有自己就是心里很不舒服，然后情绪也很难接受那场失利？
没有，就是输了的话肯定是不高兴，但是第2天就好了，因为我已经在比赛中做得很好了，所以说也没有不高兴。
Of course, I was unhappy with that, and I was very emotional at that night. But on the next day, okay, I feel better, and I know I did all I can do. I did my best. So yeah, that's it.
And then here you are here in a main event. So I'm just curious, I mean, does that make you feel, I guess, the company believes in you, that they're putting you here in a headlining role?
所以啊，那这场比赛你打主赛，那你觉着有没有这是因为 UFC 仍然很信任你，很看好你，觉着你很有实力，所以把你放在打头条主赛？
这场比赛我是主赛，我觉得 UFC 肯定是在我身上肯定看到我的水平吧，所以说觉得我还是一个高手，所以说我还可以打主赛。
Yeah, this fight they put me in the main event, so I think UFC they saw something special on me. They saw some very high level thing on myself, so they believe me. So yeah, that's why they put me in the main event.
So with the main event comes a 5-round fight. I'm just curious, how much you had to change in terms of training to prepare for this versus a 3-round fight.
所以这回比赛呢也是打5回合，那跟以前打3回合的比赛相比，这次备战有没有什么变化？
我觉得备战的话没有太大的变化，因为原来我也是就是打实战啊，什么都按5、6回合那么打，所以说体能上我根本就不用担心。备战的话，唯一的变化就是多练习了一些就是摔跤啊，还有柔术的一些东西。
There is no significant change for this camp, so I don't worry about like my cardio and strength and conditioning, cause and for my cardio I sparring 5 or 6 rounds even on my previous camp, so that's not going to be an issue. So the only change is I just did more on grappling and jiu-jitsu training.
You're curious what you think about Mackenzie as an opponent, and do you think she's going to be willing to try to stand with you at all, or is this going to be purely her trying to grapple the whole time?
那所以那又说到你这个对手邓恩，你觉着他会跟你怎么打？你觉得他会试着跟你在站立上打一打呢，还是完全就是想把你拽到地面？
我觉得他会假装跟我在站立上打一打，其实目的还是拖到地面，这是肯定是他想赢得比赛的想法。
Yeah, I think she may do something on the standing, but it's just for set up to drag me on the ground because that is the only way she can win this fight, I believe.
Despite the losses that you had, it's the very top of the division and they were close fights. So, I mean, are you thinking about what you get with a win here? I mean, you're still very much at the top of the rankings.
虽然你现在的在这个级别的排名还是处在前列的，所以那你觉得赢下这场比赛之后，你的排名会有没有什么变化，或者下一步会怎么走？
我没想就是之后的，我要打好就是周6的比赛，所以说我没有想那么多，先打好比赛吧。
I didn't think about the next step or what going to be changed after this fight yet. So now I'm just fully focused on this fight on Saturday night.
Fair enough. Last thing for me, obviously, it's a big fight, a big moment. What kind of fight do you think we see here? Is this going to be a long, drawn-out fight, or is it a fight that you think you can finish early?
所以啊，那这场比赛大比赛主赛，那你觉得这场比赛会是一种什么样的方式呈现给大家？打满5回合，还是你就想终结对手？
我觉得周六的比赛肯定是一个精彩的比赛，我就做好训练的一些，就平时练的一些东西打出来。我也没想过是终结啊，还是说5回合，就看情况嘛。
Let's see. I think the fight on Saturday night is gonna be a very exciting fight. So what I gonna do is just do what I did in training. So let's see if I'm going to do everything correctly. The good outcome will come by itself.
Trevor, I think it's a little past kind of your 2-year anniversary in the UFC. It's been a kind of a roller coaster experience, right? I mean, how would you kind of rate things through your first 2 years here?
Well, you know, you got to be proud. It's the UFC, first of all. Yeah, it's been a hell of a roller coaster, man. Started out 2-0, dropped my last 2, lost my friend in the process, who was my #1 training partner, and it's just been getting my mind back healthy, getting my body back healthy, and yeah, it's been quite a roller coaster, my man.
Obviously a tough one last time out, decision loss to a talented fighter. I mean, everybody's good here, but I guess what kind of specific lessons did you take out of the last experience?
The last experience, just maybe getting used to the Vegas judges. The Vegas judges like a lot more forward movement. I've been noticing a lot of fights, guys are doing well, moving backwards with counter strikes, but the Vegas judges aren't giving them that nod. So that's one thing I take out of it, just a little bit more forward pressure.
I think it's been about 7 months since then at this point. I guess, did you need that amount of time off, or you know, what kind of has been the focus during that time?
I was trying to fight in August. That didn't happen, so I've been training, man. I've been training. I went to Thailand, I went to Korea, trained back home, started my camp there, ended my camp in Vegas. So I've been training, man. So the time off is great because I'm in shape right now. I'm in great shape right now, so I'm liking the way my body feel. I'm healthy. In my last fight, I was set to fight Raoni before, and I ended up not fighting because of my ankle injury. And then when my ankle healed, my knee was loose, so that fight didn't happen. And then I just woke up one day and they had the fight versus Javid booked. And going into that Javid fight, now I know how my knee feels. I knew I wasn't 100%. I knew I couldn't wrestle, I couldn't clinch. That's why I just struck with Javid the whole time. So there's a lot of things I couldn't do in that fight. And I only know for sure now because at the time I thought, oh, this is all my knee gonna give me. But now that I feel my knee, how it feels now, I'm like, oh, now you were injured in that fight, you know? So, you know, and then you get the lesson of a loss, man. When you lose, you come back hungry. You don't come back any less of a fighter. You come back with a mindset where you got to get it done, you know.
You talk about the traveling to Korea and Thailand. I guess what was the motivation there? And I mean, is that something that you think you're going to need to do to maybe step outside, you know, the home gym, I guess?
Yeah, you always got to mix it up, man. Especially when you're coming off losses, it's always good to just go mix it up and get some new partners. And Thailand is good, man. I trained in Thailand before, Tiger Muay Thai and Bang Tao Muay Thai and MMA. And last time I trained there, I got a knockout. So why not go back there and try and get another knockout or a submission or something? So training there is excellent. You get to focus. You get to eat clean food. You get to eat fruits, vegetables, and things like that. And you're just right across the street from the gym, scooter right away. And, you know, it's just the mindset. You know, it's good there.
Yeah. I saw you put on social media that you're coming for a new contract. Is this the last fight on your deal?
I have one more fight on my contract. But, of course, every fight's a win-win, you know. You don't want to lose 3 in a row in the UFC, point-blank period. You know, Sean did tell me when I fought Saheed that this fight don't matter because Saheed came in 4 pounds overweight. The boy wasn't even sucked up. The boy could have got that weight off easily. So, and I had 5 opponents that fight and 3 different dates. So if you're going to hold that fight against me, that's up to the promotion. And the Javid fight was a good fight, you know. And then the Saheed fight was also a good fight. The fight was a good fight because it was so terrible to me that I couldn't tap out. I couldn't lose a decision or lose a fight and have that kind of performance. So I still put the fans on notice. I still went out like a man. Views for the UFC. So I've been doing my job. Come out and fight Javid. It was a good fight. You know, I thought I did better than what the judges called. I thought I had the more powerful strikes. Although I was countering, he was adding pressure. He was a longer guy, of course. But yeah, man, I've been doing my job since I stepped in this promotion. I never had no easy fights. Like I see some guys in the top 10, top 15, they're not scary to me. Like, they're more tacticians, and like, I'm fighting the dangerous guys. I'm fighting the guys that really go out and hurt you. And I'm one of those guys myself, don't get me wrong. That's why they're making these matchups happen. Like, people might think they could beat us. Some of, like, Raoni, me, a couple other guys that I like in the division that's, you know, I'm a fan of. They might be coming off losses or whatnot, but when you fight us, it's dangerous because we hurt you, you know what I mean? Like, some of these guys don't want to be in there with us. So I feel they're like, hey, we got to put these two guys who keep getting fights dropped against each other because, you know, they're only going to fight each other. Nobody wants to get hurt by them. So that's how I feel about this fight.
I was going to say, so it sounds like you got a lot of respect for Raoni because he's kind of flown under the radar a little bit as well, but impressive career record, good skills. It sounds like you have respect for him.
Oh, yeah, man. My coach is Brazilian. I got a lot of Brazilian friends. I know how the Brazilians work. I know how talented they are. Yeah, I have respect for him now, but when I get in there, I'm going to fight him. For sure, I'm going to fight him, and I have to fight him. So, yeah, the respect's mutual. I have respect for all my opponents. I have respect for Javid. We talk all the time. Not so much Saeed. I'm going to get him back. For sure, I'm going to get Saeed back. Like, if I get this Ronnie fight, that's going to put me in a very nice position, but I don't want no top 15. I don't want nothing. As soon as Saeed drop a fight, I want Saeed again because the boy didn't even make weight. He didn't even make weight. Like, I'm going to let this out. He messaged, when he won that fight, he was like, oh, 3 days notice, 3 days notice. The guy messaged me on Instagram like at least 8 days out. And he was like, Trev, take the fight versus me, take the fight versus me. And I was like, bro, whoever they call me, I'm not in charge of that. Whoever they call me, I'm fighting. And then it ended up being him. And then he ended up winning, not making weight, winning. He's supposed to win. Of course, it's a fight, but the way he acted about it, like, 3 days notice, you know, like a dick, you know what I mean? Like, I don't respect that. So out of everyone and him, I don't respect. I respect he beat me. Of course, it's a sport. He's not supposed to come out there and lose, but make the weight and beat me. I think if he made that weight 4 pounds down, that's 4 pounds of him working and 4 pounds of him rehydrating. That's a big difference. And the way I was controlling him in the fight, I think that would have been a difference. So I don't think that fight should be held against me, man, because boy didn't even come correct. And, yeah, man, I fight the hardest guys in the division. I'm not trying to be a part of the B team, bro. I'm trying to be a part of the A team.
So safe to say that fight's got to happen again at some point.
Yeah, that fight has to happen again. Has to. That's the only fight I want right now. Right now, I have an opponent in front of me. I'm very focused on Raoni. If they don't give me him, I'll be focused on my next guy. But if I had a chance to call anyone out or get any say, of course, I want that Saeed fight again.
Last thing for me, obviously, as you said, you got to focus on the task at hand first. But what kind of fight do you think we see? What's the goal here? I mean, is it just win by any means necessary, or is it, you know, go do something spectacular? What do we see here?
Well, I got 5 submissions and 4 knockouts, so I can take whatever, man. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna take whatever he gives me, man. You know, they put this fight together because they want a nice boxing match. You know what I mean? They want some hands to fly. They want some dangerous fight. I'm prepared for that, but I'm prepared for a lot of other things, you know. He might shoot. I might shoot. I'm prepared to see what he brings to the table, you know. I know if he comes in my face as much as that, I hit pretty hard, and he could be in people's face just standing right there, and I hit pretty hard. So, you know, my regular style might be able to work, you know, or I might have to break out a new style. You never know. Every style makes a fight. Everyone's talented, and I'm for sure here to fight. I'm for sure here to fight.
Well, Sadiq, I know this is kind of a wild month, I guess. It's a weird stretch of not knowing if you're going to fight, changing opponents, all that. I guess what's this experience been like for you?
That's a fact, man. It's definitely been a very, very crazy, especially the last 2 weeks, you know. I showed up not knowing if I was going to fight or not, and then that same day I was hearing I was fighting. I was hearing I wasn't fighting. I was hearing I was fighting again. Different weight class. All right, now you're fighting in 2 weeks. But here we are.
When did you know for sure that you weren't fighting on the 17th, right? Because you thought even on fight week it might happen, right?
Yeah, I didn't know for sure until I'll probably say that Tuesday or maybe even Wednesday, to be honest, because on Tuesday they still told me that I had to fight with Dern, and then they asked for a different weight class. They asked for 150, then they asked for 155, and then once it was solidified that I think Hani Yahya and Cody Garbrandt wasn't fighting, I think that's when they was like, all right, you're officially not fighting. You're going to fight in 2 weeks.
What was this 2 weeks like then? Once you know it gets moved, I mean, because the whole thing is like peaking and training and all the balance, right? So what was this like for you?
Very, very hungry. That's what it's been like, man. You know, it's like by the time you show up to fight week, you're kind of already water loading, you know, and that's the point that I was at, you know, and then now you find out like, all right, you're still not gonna get to eat for like two more weeks. You before fight week, you're kind of already you got the meals planned out, man. You're like, all right, next week I'm gonna eat this, but it is what it is, man. 2 more weeks of sacrifice, just maintaining my weight, you know. There's not much more I can add on when it comes to conditioning, you know. It's just about maintaining where you're at and trying to game plan, you know, for as much as you can for a new guy.
All right, so you're fighting a top 10 guy, and then it goes to a newcomer, right? I mean, I guess the idea is you got to fight to get paid.
Exactly. You know, you took the words right out of my mouth. You know, I gotta go get my check. You know, and to be honest, like the pay was a big motivator, but outside of that too, I took the fight with Giga like maybe like 4 months in advance. Like it was a long time before when I signed the fight, you know, and we put in a lot of work, you know. I can't let all that go to waste like that. I gotta get something at the end of the day.
Is there danger of a letdown at all? You know, like obviously when you're top 10, you're like, yeah, this is gonna move me up, you know, to like newcomer. I mean, do you have to be careful not to have some kind of a letdown, maybe?
No, there is no letdown, man. This is a very crazy game. You know, I try not to underestimate anybody. So I treat this guy the same way I treat Giga, the same way I'll treat anybody in there. Every single one of my fight, I try to look at it like, hey, this is for the belt, you know. So it's definitely not a letdown. Once we get the fight over and done with, then we can look into the future. But for now, this guy's the main priority.
I guess you got a little bit of time to study him, or did you? I mean, what have you seen in his game? What do you think about Don as an opponent?
Yeah. I think he's a grinder. You know, he throws a lot of looping shots and tries to get in there in your face and tries to grind you out. And like I said, everybody I fight, I'm a big believer in watching film. You know, I'll never be the guy that come in there and be like, hey, let's just wing it. You know, like ever since I was an amateur, I've always been a film studier. Even when my guy's only film was like wrestling footage in high school or something, or jiu-jitsu tournament, I'll watch it and see what I could pick up from it. So the moment they told me who I was fighting, I thought I was gonna fight him in like 3 days. I cram session, you know, it's time to see what this guy does. But then 2 weeks, I think I had enough time to pick apart a game.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess, win here. What's the goal? I mean, because this time, now you feel like you need some time off, or is it like, let's try to get another, ranked opponent booked ASAP? Like, what's the plan?
It depends on how clean I come out. If I could come out very clean, I would definitely like to have something scheduled by the end of the year.
Hey, Sadiq. How does it feel to be active again, man? It's the first time you've had 2 fights since 2019.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why I was like, I have to get a fight. You know, I wasn't gonna just sit out. You know, because the last time my inactivity was things that was out of my control. Now that it's in my control, there's no way I was gonna let it slip by. You know, so I was like, man, I need to find an opponent.
I know last time you were here, you talked about your bad case of COVID.
Yeah.
Are you finally over that?
Yeah. I haven't had any hiccups or scares, and the camp before that I had maybe 1 or 2 bad days, but I haven't had anything happen in a while. You know, so I think all the symptoms have been gone since the fight before this.
Awesome, that's awesome to hear. And then Mike Davis is on the card with you, and
yeah, I saw that.
And I don't know, you and his fight, still the best fight.
They don't give us enough credit for that, man. I think they gotta solidify that. The UFC need to put it on their page. The best fight in Contender Series history: Sadiq Yusuff versus Mike Davis. I'm surprised they didn't post that on their UFC page or something. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It is by far the best fight on the series. But I just wanted you to reflect on that fight a little bit.
Yeah, that was, man, I heard there's not going to be any media people this weekend, and that was one of the biggest things that I always took away from that fight. That fight felt so cool because it felt like sparring, you know. It was so quiet in there, and the way me and him were 2 exciting strikers, so every time we connected, the camera was just picking it up, you know, and we could hear our coaches, I could hear his coaches perfect. I'm sure he could hear my coaches perfect, and it was just a fun, exciting matchup. There's a reason why both of us are in the UFC now, you know. To be honest, on that night, if they had just switched us and gave us the other guys, it might not have been as exciting as it was, but that's one of those things. I just want my credit, man. I mean, we deserve our credit. Give us the best contender series fight in history, Cedric Gibson versus Mike Davis.
Absolutely. And then finally, I just wanted your thoughts on the featherweight division. It's kind of stuck at the moment. If you were the matchmaker, who do you think deserves the next title fight?
To be honest, this is a lot better than it was a few years ago. At least things are moving. There was a time where like none of us was able to fight each other. I remember before I got the Arnold Allen fight, like all of us were just like in limbo. But at least now people are getting matched up. Like featherweight is one of those weight classes from 1 to like 15. If you just pick a name out of a hat, you're gonna get good matchups, you know. But when it comes to who deserves the title shot, Emmett makes a really good case, and so does Jair. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no boring matchups at 145. I don't think featherweight gets the credit it deserves. At the top 15, like I said, just shake the names up and pick them out of a hat. You're gonna get a good fight.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you.
Well, welcome back. I guess it's been kind of a crazy couple of years in your career with a lot of rescheduling and move bouts and not a lot of action. I guess, what has this time been like for you?
Muito tempo sem lutar. O que isso traz para você? Esse tempo todo sem lutar. O que traz para você de novo?
Bom, isso daí já aconteceu comigo outras vezes também. Então, eu acho que foi até bom nesse período que eu passei, porque eu voltei totalmente mais forte. Eu acho que foi o tempo mesmo para voltar da minha última luta em janeiro até hoje. Então, hoje eu me sinto 110% preparado. Então, eu não vejo problema nenhum.
They take so long, you know, and that's what is good for me. So they take that all those time without training, without fight, and I'm improving a lot. Right now I'm feeling very well and 110%, and I'm gonna show you guys that.
I know you've had a couple of losses, which doesn't happen to you very often. So I guess how difficult has it been dealing with these two setbacks?
Você teve duas derrotas nesse teu período. O que você acha dessas duas derrotas? O que te traz de novo?
Bom, tudo mudou, né? Eu acho que vindo de 2 derrotas, a gente tem que mudar alguma coisa no nosso camp, no nosso treinamento também, em geral. Então, isso foi feito. Hoje eu sou um novo Raoni, eu acho que eu volto para minhas origens novamente, desde quando eu fiz minha primeira luta no UFC. Então, é basicamente isso.
Many things change, you know. After you have 2 losses, so you have something to change, and then I did it. I training completely different than whole my last 2 fight. So I come back to when I was winning an RFA, and right now I'm feeling very well. I'm gonna training very well, completely different than last time. So I'm very confident to show you guys how it is right now.
You've got Trevin Jones as an opponent. Just curious kind of what you think of him as a fighter.
Você tem o Trevin Jones sobre adversário. O que você acha sobre ele?
Bom, um adversário duro, como todos os outros foram completamente duríssimo nas lutas que eu fiz. Então, estou respeitando o máximo que eu posso, como sempre respeitei, mas eu estou entrando num só objetivo, totalmente focado e em busca do meu maior objetivo, que é sair com essa vitória daqui.
I respect Jones as I respect all my opponent. You know, he's a very tough opponent, like all the opponent what I was fight before. That's nothing different. But right now, the big difference is my focus now, how I training now, and I'm gonna show you guys there completely different rounding. I'm gonna show you, and the most important here is to beat them and come back with the win.
I guess what is most important? You say the win. Is it by any means necessary? I mean, just a boring decision could be okay, or do you feel like you got to go make a statement with this performance?
O que você acha? Somente vencer ele ou vencer uma forma mais tranquila, mais relaxada, ou você quer uma performance fenomenal?
Eu vim aqui para isso, para uma performance fenomenal. Eu estou vindo atrás de um novo Raoni, na verdade. Então, a minha cabeça é outra, a minha motivação é outra. Eu estou completamente diferente e eu estou vindo para definir essa luta de qualquer jeito. Se possível, uma finalização.
I'm coming here right now with a very different Raoni which you guys watching before, you know, and I coming to phenomenal fight, and for sure I come to finish the fight. No matter what, I'm gonna finish the fight. If the submission is coming, yeah. If the knockout is coming, it's gonna be, yeah. But one thing is very important. I'm gonna beat this guy.
Nice. Last thing for me, you know, a win here. I guess what's important moving forward. I know you haven't been able to fight frequently. Is that the goal moving forward, and maybe a spot in Rio is in the plans? What do you do with the win?
O que você acha após essa luta aí? O que você tem? Quais são os seus planos para próximas lutas?
Com certeza, Rio, dia 21 de janeiro, possivelmente passando dessa luta, eu vou pedir essa luta no Rio. Eu sou carioca da gema, então preciso estar nesse card. Então, acredito que todos os meus amigos, familiares e irmãos de equipe estejam na mesma energia. Então, eu vou pedir sim essa luta para o dia 21 de janeiro, que esteja nesse card.
Yes, for sure. So after this fight, that's already in my mind, and I really want to be in the card of Rio de Janeiro. This is my hometown. This is where I have to be. And all my friends, all my coach, all my family, they always pray for that. And for sure, I want to be there. And I'm going to show you guys again. I'm from Rio. I deserve to fight in Rio. Yes.
Welcome back, Randy, on quite the run in your career right now. Maybe the best success in your UFC career thus far. I guess how does it feel right now for you?
That's cool. Can't really. Is it quite the run? I guess it's
respectable names, 3 wins in a row. I mean, it looks good to me.
I don't really think about it like that. I'm just going. I'm just trying to keep going as much as I can. You already know my plans and aspirations are much bigger than just 3 wins. So.
Change of atmosphere, right? Got the big crowd now back at the Apex. I guess was there any part of you that was like, a little disappointed, or do you like competing here?
I was a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Honestly, I think I fight better when I'm in front of the crowd. You know what I mean? I'm an entertainer. You know, my fight style is very fan friendly. So, genuinely, I prefer to be in front of the crowd. Even though we're in the Apex, I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm good with that. But then I heard there's no fans at all. Then I'm like, damn, it's back to like COVID again, or it's like silent. That's weird. So that's gonna be a little weird again. But it is what it is.
I was gonna say, I mean, how challenging is that as an athlete, right? I mean, to guess maybe you don't get that adrenaline rush or you don't get that sharpness. I mean, how challenging is it?
It can be challenging, but you know what? Ultimately, is whether there's a crowd or there's nobody, it's just fight. You know what I mean? And it could be anywhere. It could be here, there. It could be up in the air. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go in there and my skill set is gonna remain my skill set, and I'm gonna just do what I need to do.
Fair enough. Francisco, obviously, guy's been around the game for a long time, proven veteran. I guess. What did you think when this was the name that was given to you?
Man, I was honored. You know what I mean? Uncle Trinaldo's been around for a long time. That's someone I've been watching from even before I got into the game. You know what I mean? He's a vet, so ton of respect there. You already know what it is. So it was an honor, and it will be an honor to face him.
I guess, when people break him down, a lot of times they point to, hey, maybe he doesn't finish as strong, right? But can you go into a fight thinking, well, we just got to get through 1 and 2, and then 3 will be easy? That seems kind of a dangerous way to look at it.
Man, Unc got power. We know Unc got power. We've seen it. He's always bringing crazy energy when he fights. He's a little Tasmanian devil. He's older now, so he's slowing down. You can see that. But still, what's the last thing to go with age? As they say, that power, right? And you see him coming up and putting welterweights away. So I'd be a fool to be like, oh, well, I just need to coast and get through the rounds. Nah, he's coming with that energy, and I'm going to have to meet him halfway just like that. So a ton of respect, but Unk got to get it.
I love it, man. So on paper, it does look like it's going to be a pretty exciting matchup. I mean, are you expecting a battle in there?
I'm expecting me to go in there and do what I do, and I think that I offer an interesting skill set that's going to cause a lot of troubles for his skill set. And I don't know if it's going to be a battle, but I'm prepared for it. I'm looking to go in there and make it look as pretty as possible and get it done.
Nice. You get the win here in a co-main event slot over a respected veteran. What's the next move? I mean, are there opponents that you want? Are there dates that you want? What's the move going forward?
I'm focused on Trinaldo, focused on Uncle Trinaldo right now, but hey, you know, there's always people in mind, and you know, I talk about it all the time. If you see my podcast, Pro and the Bro, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube. Y'all know what it is, right? You want to hear my call-outs, you want to hear who I'm interested in the next fight that I'm looking at my game plan, you could always find me on YouTube and go check out my thing on YouTube or Twitch, you know what it is. But yeah, there's always someone in mind, but right now, let me focus on Trinaldo.
Solid plug of the shows there. Good job. Well done.
Always, always.
Last thing for me, I guess. So we'll tune in for the call-outs. We'll watch on the Twitch. We'll check out on YouTube.
It may be on Fight Night, maybe, you know, but ultimately, you know, I got to talk about the show, the Pro and the Bro. It's like the best show on YouTube, the best MMA podcast on YouTube. Come on. Got to talk about it.
I like it. I guess last thing for me, I guess will the call-out include just get me back in front of a crowd next time, though?
Please, I got to be in front of a crowd. Come on. I'm not this kind of fighter. You know what I mean? Y'all know what it is, man. I'm not this kind of fighter. I am a fighter that needs to be in front of a crowd. I need to be in front of people so I can entertain. And, you know, I always bring a show. Y'all know that. No matter what, I'm bringing a show. So get me in front of a crowd, Dana.
Hey, Randy. There was whispers of a Michael Chiesa matchup. Was that ever on the table?
That's something that you've been watching the show. You've been watching the show. No, that's something that we've spoke about on the show a bit. You know, I've met Chiesa. I've spoken to him as well. I saw him last week, and me and him had a conversation about something, you know, happening in the future. We'll see what's what. You know, I've had conversations with a lot of people, you know. There's fighters on the roster that I've had conversations with that I've told personally. I'm like, bro, we don't have to wait for the UFC to create a demand, the era that we live in now. But these dudes sometimes are just so dense when it comes to that kind of stuff. They don't really have a great understanding of it. So I'm like, bro, let's go live one time, me and you. So you said you want to fight me. I heard you say you want to fight me, right, in an interview. I've said it publicly. So what's to stop both of us from going live with each other on, you know, on social media, and we'll have a conversation. We don't got to banter and have a, you know, be disrespectful, but we can have a conversation, and I think that we can create a demand here, and we show to the UFC. We just need them to put the show together. We don't need them to promote it right now. You know, we give it to them. And dudes say they want to fight in public, but behind the doors they saying other stuff. So that's just how that is. But not Chiesa, by the way. Chiesa is down to fight. This is someone else. But yeah, that's all that is.
With the year almost done, do you have a favorite video game you've played this year so far?
I'm back to playing PUBG, back to shooting people up in PUBG. I play a ton of video games, but PUBG is pretty cool. Right now, I'm waiting for Veiled Experts to come out. That's a good one. I've been playing the beta, and they cut it short, so I'm waiting to see how that goes. But back to PUBG. Shout out OG Jens. You know, I've been getting some gaming with Jens Pova over there, so shout out to him.
Awesome. Thank you.